Lauren, welcome to Halloween Daily, where every day is Halloween. And thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you, Matt. It's nice to be part of your Halloween lair.
This is especially exciting for me. Of course, I'm a fan. I've watched you face off against Jason so many times over the decades, and Friday the 13th Part Two. And now I think, like all horror fans, we're so excited to see you back in this awesome new slasher in a violent nature. So maybe you can tell us just a little bit about what attracted you to this project and how it first came to you and made you want to get back into this subgenre we love.
Oh, great. Thanks. That's a great question. It came across my desk in my lair via email. There was some interest, and I got the script in an email from Chris Nash, and I thought, oh, a little present. So I read through it, and as I'm reading the role of the woman, I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot of dialogue. No, seriously. But it was a lot of dialogue, but I was just drawn to the storytelling that she was being given. And I thought it was wonderfully written, wonderfully graphic. And the approach was just to have her be a cool customer when telling this story. And I thought it was a great script. I did read it like a typical slasher with all the sound effects in the back of my brain. So when I actually saw the movie on film at on the Governor's Island event last week, I thought, whoa, this is new because there is no music to distract you. You know, it's just following this killer's journey. And I just thought it was a wonderful read, and I was excited to be a part of it. And I drove all the way to Sault Ste. Marie in Canada to be a part of it.
Very cool, very cool. Now, like you said, you've got this pivotal scene, and we won't spoil it, but you've got this pivotal scene with the character Chris, and there is a lot of dialogue there, and I feel like there's what's being said, and then there's this subtext of maybe not what's being said out loud, but a lot of what's being conveyed in this scene, and even on a meta level, because we as genre fans know you and your history with Friday the 13th, of course. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because I'd love how it works on multiple levels like that.
Yeah, I mean, not to give too much away, but she discusses with the character of Chris uh, how, well, to use the title, how violent the natural world is and how it's a part of your life. And sometimes you just have to take it, you know? And there's, you know, when you see the entire movie up to that point, I don't want to give anything away. This is so hard not to do. Oh my gosh. It's really hard to not give anything away. You know what I mean? But I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen it yet. What she says, what the woman talks about in the animal world is what happened in the movie. You know what I mean? To all these characters. So there's that kind of creepiness with the way the other character looks at the woman like, is she going to do something to me?
Yeah.
You know, you don't know. And when I read it, I couldn't wait to get to the end of the dialogue because I thought, oh my gosh, she sounds like she's threatening in a way. You know, so I don't want to give anything away, but wow, that dialogue packed a punch for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot to chew on there in there, and throughout the movie, like you said, it's a very unique approach where we're basically, for the most part, following the killer and staying with the killer here, whereas with Friday the 13th and so many of the slashers over the decades that we're familiar with, it's the opposite. We get little hints of the killer throughout, and we stay with the kids or the victims or the people he's chasing. And with this, it's the complete opposite, which I thought was a very fun and unique approach. And it also kind of shows that there is still room after all these years of so many slashers for some creativity and a little bit of innovation. And, you know, it's still paying homage and got hits all the beats that we want in a typical slasher. What is it about that subgenre? I mean, you've watched it from your point of view, from Friday the 13th Part 2, all these decades. You've seen so many different characters and reinventions of Jason, and now
Yeah.
with this, what is it that keeps people like me coming back for more over and over, and keeps this slasher subgenre unkillable like the slashers are?
Well, I mean, everybody likes a good scare, right? We all like to jump out of our seats and go, ah, and have the popcorn go flying. But we're also safe because we're not the ones being killed. Those idiots on the screen are putting themselves in situations. You just don't go into dark places, and you don't go camping in a place that's called Camp Blood. You don't disturb graves, and steal stuff. I mean, come on, you're just begging for trouble. So I think the fact that the audience is always slightly smarter, not slightly, but much smarter than the characters who are getting themselves, knocked off. That's always a lot of fun. But also to see, you know, the killer is usually a survivor of some sort of trauma, right? So a lot of times people latch on to the killer character because he's in survival mode. And there's a sort of superhero-ness about that. I broke through my trauma, and now I'm bigger, stronger, and better than everybody else. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to kill them too. Hopefully in real life, nobody wants to do that. But getting that strength from a character that had a childhood trauma is also very appealing. Just the strength part of it, not the murdering.
Now there are some insane kills in this film, and again, I won't spoil it for people that haven't seen it yet. But and of course, Jason known for his insane kill. So if you got to pick one, if you know Jason versus Johnny, who wins in this slasher clash?
Wow, I think woo, my Jasons are going to be mad at me. I think Johnny might be a little bit more creative. I think Johnny's stronger than Jason. He's got an invincibility about him, if that's a word. If it's not, I just made one up. Yeah, and without that mask on, he's damn good looking.
Yep.
Right, very handsome. So, if looks could kill, definitely in his case, he's a killer.
Awesome. I love it. Now, if you'll indulge us for our last few minutes here before we let you go, because every day's Halloween with us. And I'm always curious because, Jason has become a Halloween go-to costume for so many people. Every year, the masks are everywhere, whether it's officially licensed or just, generic hockey masks that people throw blood on. And I think Johnny might join that club here now. But
Agreed.
so are you ready to see Johnny costumes? And what's Halloween like for you? What do you feel when you see these little Jasons running around, or do they come trick or treating at your door?
Well, for Halloween, and I keep them up year round. Actually, I'm giving myself away here. I actually have skeletons and fake carcasses of animals out at the end of my property, and these poor kids have to walk to the school bus because I'm on a dead end street. So they have to pass these things that are kind of hanging there. So every day is kind of like a little Halloween celebration for me as well. But it's always fun to go to conventions and see the cosplayers because they really put so much into making that real and authentic looking. So for here, we have mostly younger kids who go trick or treating, so I haven't seen a whole lot of that type of creepiness go on. But I think as they start to get older, I have seen when we had older kids and they've all gone off to college, I have seen the occasional hockey mask. And of course, they go, made you look. Are you scared? Are you going to run from me? I'm like, ah. So I just put blood on and I wear my replica sweatshirt that I wore. Now I wear the woman's outfit because that's my actual flannel shirt. And it was an homage to the Jason shirt because it was a blue flannel plaid.
I love it.
So I did an homage. But I've got my own mask back here that a little fan made me. So I'll put that on sometimes. It's fun, It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. I love it. I love hearing that you have fun with it like we do. Very cool.
Oh,
and yeah, keep spooking the kids on their way to school. That's the way to do it. That's every day's Halloween.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, again, Lauren, this is great. You're great in the new movie. I know everybody's going to love it in a violent nature. I loved it. It's awesome. And I can't thank you enough for hanging out with us today. And because we always hate to say goodbye, and every day is Halloween anyway, I just always end by saying Happy Halloween.
I was going to say happy Halloween to you too.